What is up, everybody? How we all doing today? I was out in the workshop a lot this week, making a lot of sawdust, a crap ton of sawdust. Yes, Marco, thank you. I know I was already late. Yeah. So yeah, I was working on a few pieces. Plus, my son got a job, so now he's allowed to have a cell phone. So Mrs. Urban and I were dealing with him and all that. Yay. Pizza night. Mrs. Urban made some quick homemade pizza.
And I'm dying.
And she got sick. Mrs. Urban's sick. Yep. What's up, Joe? Of course, we know Marco's in here. Kathleen, how are you? Ground Fog. What's up, Ground Fog? So, y'all want to see what I've cranked out this week? What all I was busy doing? Better than watching me stuff my face, right? So, I made 4 of these things. These are jewelry holders. So there's the base. And you lay your bracelets or hoop earrings, and then you stack your rings on here. You stack, 3 or 4 rings on your center post. So there's one. No, I'm not going to lose your rings. Here's another one. This one's got a little deeper of a basin here. And then, necklace falling out of this one. Did 2 of them in the black walnut. So there's that one, and then here's a slightly smaller one. So yeah, so I made those 4, and I plan to make at least one more, maybe 2. And then I knocked out, and this was the bowl that I showed Aries EDC that I cranked out. And so here's a nice deep bowl, and a little decorative on the bottom with a couple of rings. But yeah, using the dark walnut, and then I don't know what the white wood is. I don't know if that's ash or poplar or something. But yeah, this thing came out nicely, and StreamYard and my camera is not doing it justice, but this thing is gorgeous. Like, it shines. It shines, it shines, it shines. And then I made another bowl, and this was a first for me. I've always looked at them and thought they were kind of goofy looking, cool, but goofy looking. So I tried doing one of those square topped, or in this case, it's more of a rectangle shape. But yeah, I did like the square topped edge to it, and out of the dark walnut, and it came out really, really nice. I'm actually pretty happy with it. The only thing, being a perfectionist and seeing the errors in my ways, this edge is sharper right here than this side. This side is a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. That's because the square piece, when I put it on the lathe, it didn't quite perfectly center it. So that I was close, but still no cigar. So one side is got a thicker edge than the other side. But I guess you could always say that it was done that way on purpose, right? So the thicker edge is the one that's away from you when you have it sitting on a table. The thinner edge is the direction that's supposed to be facing you when you put stuff in it. Yeah, we could say that, right? We could say that and call it a day. But yeah, so made those 2 bowls. Made the 4 ring things. I had made this little tiny vase, cute little weed vase, and
What, babe?
it's a weed for weeds. You put your little weeds, the fancy flowers that don't cost anything.
Are you playing with those?
No, not not smoking weed. Weeds, like weeds out of the yard. Your little dandelions and stuff. But I don't like the weeds that we have in our yard, so instead I made this thing, which is supposed to be this both pieces out of your southern cedar. Um, but so this is supposed to be kind of like a makeshift wood turned weed. It didn't cost me anything flour. So yeah, that's the decorative piece that I made to go inside of it. But just with carving it out on the wood lathe, it kind of could be, I guess, used also as a Christmas ornament. Yeah, the camera here does, like what you guys are seeing is not doing it justice. But this wood is beautiful. But yeah, so there's my weed. And then I've got two other pieces that I'm working on. What's up, Neil? Guitar with a flame maple top. Okay, I'm right on that. So here's the next piece that I've got going on. The center post will go away. It'll be a regular, little shallow change chalice is what I like to call these. But right here's where it'll get cut off. So this is the bottom, and I have the nice dark line going all the way around it. And this will be completely hollowed out. I won't have that little center knob. That'll go away. And then I got more sanding to do, and then the clear coat of oil, of Danish oil is what I use. So that'll go on that, and then I'll have the rest of this block. Well, realistically, this is the base mount that goes on that screws onto the lathe. But the screws that are down here, they go about that far. So I'll have basically the same amount of space that I had with this guy. I'll have another chunk of the same amount that I could then turn another one of these. So I'll end up making two of these. Yeah, so I'll have two of these out of that chunk of wood. And then I had this guy up here, which is just another cute little chalice deal. And I've got it like 80% of the way hollowed out. I've still got a little bit to go. But as you can see from where the super glue is, at one point it broke. It snapped right there. And so I super glued the heck out of it, and we'll get it back on the lathe probably tomorrow mid-morning, and finish this guy out. Kind of a neat shape. It's also out of that cedar, so it'll look freaking amazing once you put the clear coat on it, the oil. But yeah, it's beveled in here so that you got a nice grip around it, as if you were gonna drink a shot's worth. Basically, that's the size of it. Maybe a little bit more than a shot of hard liquor will fill into that. And then this is the base, so it'll get cut off like right above where it's meeting this joiner piece of wood, because I have to have a chunk of wood underneath it to mount that mounting plate onto. So that I can so that I can do all that. So yeah, this will be another piece. So I basically have two pieces all like 70% done, and then I will be already set up to do a third piece right after that one. So yeah, I've been busy. I've been cranking it out. And the reason why I'm making all this stuff is because I'm going to sell it. at a craft fair next Friday. So I will not be live with you guys next Friday. I will be downtown uh, with a table and all my wood stuff set up. So I've got some other pieces that I've made previously that I'm gonna sell, along with these new pieces. So all together, and then I'm gonna crank out at least another 4 or 5 more next week. At least another 4 or 5 more pieces of wood turned items. So all together, I have probably somewhere around. The goal is 14 turned pieces to sell, and hopefully I can make a couple $100. At least $200 is the goal. Again, if I took all this stuff to Blade Show, if I made like 20 pieces, 20 to 30 pieces, and took all of it to Blade Show and set up a table, because at Blade Show Atlanta they have wood made stuff and a couple of other custom things too, not just knives and knife related things. There's a couple of tables here and there that shows off other artistic stuff. So I believe technically I could get a booth. I could also bring 20 or 30 knives that I need to get rid of. I could bring those and sell. But anyways, if I pulled off a booth at Blade Show, I could get definitely a lot more money for these items versus what I'm going to be able to get for these things, what they're going to sell for down here where I live. We're not the wealthiest of cities, of small towns. People are a lot more frugal down here. So instead of selling something like this for 25-30 bucks, which is what I would probably sell for up in Atlanta, um, being a big city, those would easily go for 25 bucks. Down here, I'm gonna have to sell them for like 15. Kind of sucks because something like this guy takes, granted, I got the wood for free, which isn't always the case for wood turners. A lot of times we have to buy stuff, we have to buy blanks. But yeah, so things like that, or the two bowls, like this bowl right here. This would sell in Atlanta. I could probably get $30 for this pretty easily. It would sell for $30, and this would probably sell for 35. Because I mean, this particular sucker took me about 5 hours to make. One, I had to glue all the pieces of wood together, and then two, it carving it out and it being a deeper bowl, a taller and heavier duty piece. That took more time on the lathe, so it took me probably about 2 hours of actually carving and chiseling and shaping it all out, and then I spent another 2 hours sanding, almost 2 hours worth of sanding and applying the finish and polishing, reapplying another coat of finish, and then polish again. So I mean that particular bowl took all together about 4.5 to 5 hours to make. And so you think 5 hours. If I want to pay myself $10 an hour, granted the wood was free, but I did have to, a little bit of glue, a good chunk of amount of pieces of sandpaper, and then all my finishing oil and finishing wax. I'm about maybe around $4 or $5 worth of those materials into it. And then you stack on, let's just say I'm paying myself a whopping $10 an hour, right? Which is nothing, right? That's $50 right there. If I was to pay myself $10 an hour for 5 hours, that's a $50 bowl. Yes, mathematically, that's what makes sense. But there's no way I'm not going to get $50 for that. So what am I selling it for? I'm gonna advertise that bowl for $25 next Friday at the craft fair, and if 2 hours of the craft fair goes by, I'll be at the craft fair for about 4.5 hours. So if 2 hours goes by and I've had people interested in it, but nobody buy it because they feel like the price is a little bit steep for them, then I might knock it down to $20 and see if I can get 20 bucks for it. I'm gonna start it at 25. Hopefully get 25. And then this one I'm gonna sell for 20 bucks. And if I have to, knock it down to 15. But I really should get 20 bucks for that, and 25 for the other bowl. And these I should get uh, hopefully 15. If not, 12. 12 bucks is probably gonna be my low end for those. Because these took about 2.5 hours to make. 2 to 2.5 hours to make each one of those. This guy will sell for, granted, even though it's super glued, you won't notice it once I polish it, sand it down and polish it up. Um, I'll sell that for about 15, and then the two of these that will come out of this chunk of wood, I'll sell for 15 as well. So, and like I said, I've got another three pieces to sell that are already made, and then I'll have like another four more that I'll crank out, 4 to 5 more pieces that I'll crank out next week, and then I should be set. But yeah, so wish me luck next Friday. What's up, Beagle Scout EDC, dude? My freaking concept caveman is still I think it's stuck in Jacksonville, Florida right now, which is like an hour and 5 minutes south of me. Yeah, it's stuck in Jacksonville, and it won't doesn't say that it will get delivered tomorrow, but my fingers are crossed that it'll get delivered tomorrow. That's going to be really sweet because I've really been wanting that knife, and the fact that you made it possible for me to acquire it with your wonderful discount that I very, very greatly appreciate. Yeah, I can't wait to get that. So fingers crossed it'll show up tomorrow. It'll freaking leave Jacksonville and get to me tomorrow. If not, I doubt I'll get it Sunday, and we won't get mail on Monday uh, from USPS. So it'll be Tuesday because Monday's Labor Day holiday. Yes, it is nice that it's Friday, other than the fact that I didn't work all freaking week. Monday through Friday, I've had off. Just my lows is not my lows is not getting customer flow and not making their numbers. So it's been slow going, and so they've cut back hours and told people to stay home, and I've just not gotten scheduled to work. So that kind of sucks. But the reason why, here, let me pull it up. The reason why I'm doing the craft festival thing is because one, these shrunken paychecks are not cool. But two, there is an item that I really, really want to be able to get. There is a purchase that I am so in great desire to pick up, and that is a new camera. I really, really want a new point and shoot style camera. Um, and I've done all my homework, done all my research, and let me share these so that y'all can see it. I've dialed it down to not my first two choices, but my third choice, because my first two choices are like over $1,000 cameras. It is nuts. It is absolutely insane how expensive cameras have gotten. But I mean, it it pisses me off. To be honest with you, uh, cameras have just regular cameras have just gotten so darn expensive, so darn expensive. But this is my third choice, and this is the one. This is the realistic choice. It's my number one choice as far as what I'm willing to fork money out for. And still, this is a hard pill to swallow. This is a $700 camera right now. My fingers are crossed. I've got lots of fingers, fingers and toes are all crossed for stuff to be acquirable uh, in the somewhat near future. But hopefully, this thing will drop around $100 on Black Friday after Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving week. I'm really, really hoping that it'll drop $100. I If this thing would get itself right around $600 or hopefully just under $600, um, I will pull the trigger on it. I will absolutely pick it up. But in order for me to do that, I've got to find some extra cash. I've got to acquire some extra moolah to help cushion this blow. So hopefully, in this craft fair thing that they do downtown here in my town, they do it only the first Friday of every month. So they only do it once a month. So I figured if I can make at least $160 for September and October and November, that'll be hopefully somewhere close to $500 that I'll be able to pull in uh, to really help cushion this blow and make this camera not feel so painful to buy. Um, but yeah, this is the one that I've settled on. I really like the Fuji films. Actually, my top two choices that are over $1,000. Um, I think one of them was a Fuji, or maybe both of them were Fuji's, uh, or maybe one of them might have been a Sony or a Canon. I don't remember, but they were both like stupid expensive. Fujifilm has an insanely in all of their up to date cameras. They have a crazy good um, um, processor in them, and just their image qualities just are so insanely crisp, and the larger apertures pull in so much color and clarity. It's unbelievable. Um, yeah, I really like the Fujifilm cameras. There's like they're three best models that are out there, and they're all around 1250 to $1,700. Yeah, not spending that kind of money on a camera. So a little bit of a backstory. My father is started off in college as a photography major. Ended up going a slightly different route because of the whole computer age era. Computers started making leaps and bounds in what you could do with computer, and then more so with telecommunications and video. And so my dad got obsessed with video conferencing equipment and doing audio and video from across the world on a computer, and being able to do meetings and all kinds of stuff, presentations, live presentations and stuff, from Japan to the U.S., to the East Coast. So he was just obsessed with that, and the technology was just making leaps and bounds at that time. So like that's the direction he went in, and so he didn't quite give up photography. A lot of that played somewhat into that, but he's always been a big time photographer, and I've learned a lot from him. Um, and then I've learned from other people, and it's I can take some really good photos when I try. Occasionally, and because of the technology in cameras and the technology that's in our phone cameras, anybody who some dummy who knows absolutely nothing about photography, doesn't know a damn thing about lighting and angles, and does completely ignorant to that stuff, can occasionally capture an amazing photo. And that's entirely because of luck and technology that's infused into our cell phone cameras and even regular point and shoot cameras like this one. But I like this one very much. It's made by Panasonic, and Panasonic's been doing pretty darn good in the point and shoot camera industry. I do not want lensed cameras because I still do a lot of outdoor stuff, and not only do I want this camera for taking still photos or photos, but I also want it for its video capabilities, for the sake of doing all my YouTube stuff, um, and doing videos. It does have the flip up screen, as you can see right here. So, and that's one thing that my current camera that I use for doing all my uploaded videos does not have. So that was kind of a must for me, for this next camera, because the camera that I have now is like 8 or 9 years old. It's old, um, and it's having little issues here and there, that are just driving me nuts these days. So it's like I need a new camera. I really, really want a new camera. So yeah, having this flip up screen so that I can make sure that I'm within frame when I'm doing videos of myself, is definitely a must. It had when you have cameras that have external lenses that you attach and detach, uh, that's really difficult. Makes it really difficult in keeping all your all your lenses clean. The lens that's on the actual camera body itself, as well as all of your attaching lenses. I've had a DSLR camera that you know has all the different lenses. My dad let me borrow it for a little while. I had some fun with it, and that was kind of the one thing that just was really would bother me taking photos outdoors, was having to constantly make sure that my lenses are clean, are crystal, completely wiped off. And when you're outdoors, especially if it's raining or it's windy and there's dust and debris and stuff in the air, it'll really make that a pain in the butt to try to use those kind of cameras. So I want a regular point and shoot fixed lens camera, with good zoom. This has pretty good zoom range on it. It's also 30 times zoom, 4K video and photo. Um, this whole package deal comes with a bag for it and a 32 gig SD card. So yeah, it's a sweet setup. It's a good deal. And the other couple things that I really like about it is, one, it still has that old school look and feel of an old fashioned point and shoot camera. And if you like photography, if you're into photography, yeah, I don't know. It might be just me and a small, rare handful of people here and there around the world, but there's just something, the nostalgic feel, and experience that you get with a physical camera in your hand when you're taking photos. There's just something so magical about that you do not get, absolutely do not get, when you use your phone. I'm sorry, but uh, taking photos with your phone kind of just feels like I almost half of the time when I take photos with my phone, I almost don't want to bother trying to pay attention to the lighting and the angles and focus and all that stuff because like I can just edit all that stuff in an editing app. So that's downloaded on my phone, so it's all right there. It's all piece of cake. So I feel like I'm more lazy in my actual taking of the photos, where by having a physical camera, there's a little more intimacy into using the camera, and you feel like it's more of an art form in order to take a really good quality photo with a regular camera that you just don't have. You don't get that with a cell phone. So I like the look and the old school vibes that this camera gives, and I really want to get back to taking photos like that and having that experience and really enjoying the process and the act of taking photographs. If that makes sense to any of y'all, I don't know if it does. I might be going way over your heads, and y'all might not give two shits about what I'm talking about, but hopefully somebody, one of y'all, gets it. What's up, BNA? How are you? um. Oh, Neil, you are working on Labor Day. Yeah, I read that Eagle Scout EDC. Yes, they again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for making that a possibility. Man, I don't have enough space to sit down my drink. And B&A's calling me a geezer. He's calling me a geezer. Speaking of geezers, you know what knife I should carry tomorrow? We'll go ahead and kill that. I think I rambled on enough about cameras for you guys. Are like, okay, let's talk about something else. This is the Kunwu Geezer. I've taken just a couple of photos that I've thrown up on Instagram of this thing. One of them being with this sucker sitting in the snow, and damn, this thing looks good sitting in the snow with the blues and the whites. And it looks sexy as hell sitting in the snow. I mean, it's good looking anyways, but that made for a really nice photo. Yeah, Eagle Scout EDC. I absolutely this. I own about maybe 5 or 6 slip joints. Here, let me go get two others that I have. That these are basically my top 3 favorites. So I've got probably about another 3 or 4 more, but the Kunwu Geezer, that's the name of this sucker. This is the Kunwu Geezer. This is my favorite slip joint. The reasons why it's my favorite slip joint is, one, the walk and talk sounds freaking amazing. I absolutely love the walk and talk on the acoustics of the walk and talk. But fat carbon, the blues and the whites and the blacks, all sexy as hell. Absolutely love that about it. The blade shape, totally my jam. I love the double fuller thing. So you got multiple spots, points where your fingers can grip that to bring it open and close. And then the other thing that's amazing about it is it's got a pocket clip. It's got a pocket clip, and it is reversible. It is reversible. You can put it over here on the left side. Eagle Scout EDC. Yeah. I know. Be excited about that. And the blade steel is LMAX. It's in LMAX. I don't know if you got. You probably don't have anything in LMAX. Um, but yeah, out of all slip joints that I've fooled around with and the ones that I own, this is my absolute favorite. It's just got so much going on for it. I don't have but maybe 1 or 2 other knives in LMAX, and LMAX is is a wonderful steel to work use and even sharp, not too terrible of a task with it. Just it's not, I enjoy having some Elmax in my collection, and just like all together, this is just a sweet, sweet knife. Um, it is hollow ground too. It is a hollow ground blade, but it's not an aggressive hollow ground. It's a very like you can barely feel it, and that's probably why the reason why it's just a barely noticeable hollow ground is because it's just a tall ground. Period. Like that's I mean it could have just been a flat grind. Uh, Blade edge to it because it's just such a tall grind. But yeah, it is hollow ground. It's just not you don't. It's not a clear, obvious hollow ground because it's just got that's altogether such a tall grind. Period. But yeah, I'm gonna carry this guy tomorrow. He's definitely going in pocket tomorrow when I have to run around and go out and about. All right. Um, my other three favorite slippies are well, two. My other two slippies that are my favorites. Uh this MKM. I forget what the name of this thing is. I'm having a total brain fart on it. But it is a sweet little pokey, stabby, super slim carry. Great for your little pocket slips. Um, yeah, I love this for a slip joint. It's just very gentleman esque, with the burlap. No, no, that's not burlap. That's canvas micarta. Canvas micarta and titanium, and the blade steel is it's M390. So I know how some people feel about M390, but it's on a slip joint. Slip joints typically you don't cut that much stuff with slip joints. It's just kind of like the every once in a while type deal. Um, but it is a Lucas. It's a Lucas Burnley design. Yeah, and I like his designs. I like Lucas Burnley. So it says that right up at the top. It says Burnley. Um, so yeah, I like his designs, and again, I there's a lot of people feel a certain way about MKM, but I just the walk and talk is good on this thing. It's not too stiff. It's probably about a 6.5, 7 out of 10 on the stiffness of the walk and talk. But it's just a sexy looking knife, and I like the materials, and it's good looking. Um, yeah. So then my other favorite that I own is a Viper knives, and talk about the half stop is where the nice ring is. But yeah, it's got some nice acoustics with the walk and talk on it too. But this is the Viper knives hug slip joint, and it's blackwash titanium with that starburst uh, brass pattern, and it's just sexy. It's good looking, and the dark stonewash blade. Forget what the blade steel is. You tell me. Oh, it's M392, but it's got a good sharpening choil on it, so you got lots of. I love. This is how they should do sharpening choils on slip joints, where it's just very steep, very aggressive, and it gives you plenty of distance for lots of sharpenings. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be able to sharpen this thing probably 6 or 7 times before I get down to that area. But yeah, absolutely love this thing. This thing's so cool. It's got some heft to it too. It's definitely got some weight, and the spine is actually crowned, because that's an Italian thing. The Italians love to crown their spines on. Well, it's interesting how the back spacer bit is crowned, but the blade is not crowned. It is knocked down. It is polished down, so it's not sharp, but it's not actually crowned. Where a lot of your, um, like the MKM here, is uh, is crowned. But yeah, so and then this guy, I always forget that this is not a friction folder. It's actually a lock back. But I brought him out, so I might as well show it to y'all. This is that Castillo, Castillo, Castillo. I don't know which way is the right way to say it, but they're a European manufacturer, made in Spain. So Spain, and the blade steel is 14C, and that's a beautiful red burlap micarta, bright red burlap micarta, and what really spoke to it's just a what's the blade length on this guy? He's let me find my ruler. My ruler. Jason's ruler to the rescue. The blade length is 2 1/4. So this is the Castillo Listo. The name's right there, Listo, Listo. So yeah, lock back, 2 1/4 inch blade, just a nice little fifth pocket carry, lock back. But then, besides the red burlap micarta, that's the first thing that spoke to me when I saw this guy and told me that, and I was like, 3 things that checked off. I've got to have this. One, the bright red burlap micarta, loved it, gorgeous burlap micarta. The second thing is the spine work on this sucker. Look at that, would you? Would you just look at it? Oh, I love that spine work. I mean, it's not out of all folders that people do spine work. This is not that intricate of a spine work, but it's still a beautiful pattern, and I dig it. I really like that. And then the third thing was that it's in 14C. Great steel. Everybody loves 14C. Good solid stainless, fairly budget worthy steel. I think I want to say that I paid less than $75 for this, which was a pretty decent price. Pretty solid price for everything that you're getting. The beautiful burlap, the spinal work, good jimping right there. This is actually like good aggressive jimping. Like that really bites into your thumb. You feel that your thumb ain't going nowhere on that spine with that jimping. Very strong, aggressive jimping. Not painful, but very strong. And then having 14C for the blade. Yeah, love this thing. And it's not a slip joint; it's a lockback. But it's great. And you like B&A? You like the Viper the most? Really? That's interesting. Out of those 3, you like the Viper Hug. They've got a couple of different versions of this. The brass or whatever, I don't remember. I believe this is brass. It's patinaed. I really don't carry it that much, but it has patinaed. And no, this is an awesome knife. Great blade shape, great size. What's the blade length on this? He's edge is 2.78. Yeah, just a little over 2 3/4 of an inch. So yeah, just a little less than 3-inch blade. Yeah, great freaking knife, great folder. But again, the Kunru Geezer, that's where it's at. It's a pricier one because of the LMAX and the fat carbon. But yeah. But as far as beautiful little slips, my number one choice for slips is is the MKM magnetic pocket slip. These things are awesome. You could wet form them to your knife if you wanted to. Good quality leather, and it's got the magnetic deal. So you just drop this sucker in your fifth pocket to where the magnet part is on the outside of the fifth pocket, but inside of your regular pocket. Yeah, and it just sinks down in there, and you just put your little cordage so that you can pull it out. And yeah, but these slips are awesome. Here's the hug, the Viper hug, sits in there pretty good. So yeah, these slips are great for anything that's right about that 2 inch or three inches or less blade length. Anything that's 3 inches or less in your blade. See this guy being that little two and a quarter inch blade, 2.3 inch blade. He really sinks all the way. He goes in there, almost completely disappears. So I absolutely have to have a decent sized lanyard pull on that guy. Let me grab the. Not that you would put the Kunmu Geezer in the slip because it does have its own pocket clip, deep carry pocket clip. But if you were to put him in here and get him past his clip, so let's say like if you wanted to take the clip off, if you take the clip off, that's how far he's sitting in there. But he's snug because he's a wider for this pocket slip. He's a wider folder. So he sits in there really snug, really nice. So if you wanted to get rid of that clip and keep this guy in this in a pocket dropper, it's doable. What is the Kunmo Geezer's length? Blade length? I think it's right at 3 inches. Did I not measure it already for you guys? The edge is 3 inches. Yeah, the sharpening edge. So you get past the sharpening choil, it's exactly 3 inches of blade edge, and that's your sharpening choil right there. Yeah, so it's a large enough of a sharpening choil to definitely give you a good 4, 5, maybe 6 sharpenings. But it's an LMAX, so like honestly, none of these I have not had to sharpen any of these slip joints. Uh, even this one because I carry this one fairly often. I don't hardly ever talk about it, but I do carry it fairly often, and it is crazy sharp. Um, that LMAX, I've only stropped it once. Only once have I stropped it, and the rest of them I've only ever stropped them too. Because again, usually the only time that I pull them out to cut anything is if I'm just opening an envelope or cutting a piece of tape or whatever. You know, they're not getting hard used. Uh, like my other knives that cut zip ties and rope and all kinds of things. But yeah, to answer your question, being a yes, but no. So my hand is healing. You see that lovely scar on the top of my pinky there that curves around. Yeah, so it's healing. Um, like once it got to the point where I could take the bandages off and there was enough healed skin to where I didn't need it to be bandaged, and could just for the next handful of days was just trying to constantly keeping it clean, constantly washing it, and then putting little layers of thin coats of triple antibiotic ointment on it. It's doing really good, but like it's been painfully cramping like throughout the entire day
You hit a nerve.
because I definitely hit nerves and really irritated the joints, um, and just in that healing process, it's been painful. So I can't quite like that's what you can do with your pinky normally, right? See, I can bend on my right hand. I can bend it all the way down and stab, point my the finger into my palm. I can't do that. That's as far as I can go right now. It's as far as I can go. I cannot, and it hurts. It hurts to go that far. So I don't. I mean, and it used to be like a week ago. That was about as far as I could go, and so now I can go this far. So maybe in another week I'll be able to go all the way and touch the meat of my palm again. But it's just that healing process and the physical therapy that I've had to do in bending it and trying to get those ligaments and those nerves and the joints to all work again and function back like they're supposed to. It's been slow. It's been slow, and it's hurt. It sucks. Like I now it's cramping. Now I'm having to bend it straight like this because it's wanting to cramp after doing that. So I can't really do that too much, and it helps to yank on it like this to try to pull and stretch it. Mm, yeah. So with the writing, I have held off for the sake of safety in wanting to make sure that I have full grip. This hand's got to be able to 90% or more grip the handlebar. Even though half of the time when I ride with just my right hand, and then my left hand's on top of my lap, but it's always ready to go back on the bar if I need it for turns or for in a situation where I'm having to maneuver through traffic or whatever. Somebody's being a dumbass on the road, and and so I go back to both hands on the bars to be prepared for anything, right? But so yeah, so I held off until the about midweek this week, just because I wasn't super confident in my ability to really get a full rounded grip. So I waited until Wednesday to go ride. It also kind of helped that we've been getting a whole bunch of rain down here, so I haven't had the opportunity to ride because of the rain. Anyways, we've just been drenched every day. It's just like on and off showers all damn day long. But yeah, so yesterday I rode I took the bike out on the early side of the morning before lunch, and I rode for like 2.5 hours. Um, just pick some good roads and just a little bit of a joyride, get comfortable with the bike again, and just enjoy being on the bike again. The weather's When it stopped raining, the weather was fantastic. This cooler temperature is very, very welcoming. Instead of it feeling like 108 degrees outside, it felt like it was 85 degrees outside, and that's a massive difference. That's a 20 degree temperature change drop. That was very, very welcoming. So I really, really enjoyed yesterday's ride because I took the time to go do that. I took a break, paused on the woodworking, and went out on the bike because it was nice outside. It was sunny. The roads were dry for at least the first half of the day. And yeah, so I got a good ride in yesterday. Um, Wednesday was a very short ride because the roads were a little wet and I just wasn't wasn't really feeling it. But yeah, yesterday was good. I did not take the bike out today because we went back to having rain all damn day. Like almost nonstop. Like just maybe about 40 minutes here and 30 minutes there. It would stop, and then it would just slowly start to drizzle again, and then we get decent amount of rain, and then drizzle, and then stop for about 30, 45 minutes, and then it would drizzle again. Like it's just been on and off all day. No, no more than an hour's worth of dryness. Um, so I just chalked the day up to being in the workshop and turning wood on the lathe. Good to hear, Neil. What's he up to right now? I haven't messaged Eon in a while. Um, I need to check in with him. Yeah, I've not checked in with him. It's been probably 2 months, almost 3 months. Uh, uh, I we chatted for a little bit before I went to Blade Show, and I don't think I've chatted with him since then. Oh, I'm being a bad friend there. I need to check in with him and see how he's doing for myself. But that's good to hear. He's not with you right now, is he, Neil? Y'all aren't hanging out together right now, are you? I mean, I know he's taking his time to, realigning his priorities and his values of being okay. He's not, yeah. So, I mean, he's just still doing the whole family thing, just being present with his loved ones. I get it. I mean, if let's say in 10, 15 years, when I'm in my early 50s, and all my kids, including suburban, is past 21 years old. They're all out doing their own thing, right? All my kids are out living their own lives, got their own thing going, and Mrs. Urban, for some absolutely insane, unforeseen uh, circumstances, something happens to her, right? Knock on wood. What would I do? What would anybody do if they lost their life partner, their significant other, their soulmate? Oh, he's gonna teach you to play golf. Cool. Good luck with that. Do you not like golf? Are you not any good at golf? I'm okay at golf. I can hold my own on a putt putt course. So my short game's fairly solid. Uh, I'm good with a driver. I can launch a ball, but it's that in between stuff that gets me. I can't do I can drive the ball from the tee. Um, I can get 260, 275 yards. No problem there. So occasionally close to 300. Um, yeah, there you go, Neil. The only good golf is mini golf. Um, and then as far as once you're on the green, getting it in the hole, I'm pretty good there too. Not great, but pretty good. Um, it's the in between. It's the in between that it's a total disaster for me. Total disaster. So I don't mind going to the driving range because I can hit the bar far enough at the driving range that I won't be embarrassed. Um, and I can go play putt putt, and I do very well with putt putt. Out of 10 people, I'm probably in the top three, and playing putt putt. But it's the in between. It's the in between that I suck. I suck. I suck. I suck. So playing 18 holes is never gonna be something I'm gonna do. I played a 9-hole course once or twice, and just to get the experience, just to be able to check the box. I went and played golf. Oh, but yeah, golf is not my thing. Not my thing. But yeah, so well, that's good to hear that Eonin still. I hope he's finding joy in things again. I can only most of us can only imagine um, losing somebody that special, that you know your life partner, the person that you see almost every single day, and enjoy spending time with every single day. Um, yeah, no. So back to the what if, and I think I've told Mrs. Urban this. If she goes before me and I've still got in me physically to do things, um, yeah, and the kids are grown and all on their own, I'm probably gonna ghost them for a good 3 or 4 months. After I pull myself together and get over the fact that I lost Mrs. Urban. So after my grieving process, I'm going to go hike the Appalachian Trail again. If I'm at the age where I can physically do it, I'm going to hike the Appalachian Trail again. The way I see it, why the hell not? Why the hell not? And then after that, I'm probably going to go on a cruise or two. Go exert myself and test my limits to the extreme again on a long ass backpacking trip. And then when I'm done with that, when I'm sick of that, when I can't take any more of that, I'm gonna go chillax on a cruise ship. Hopefully one that's filled with mostly white people, because have you seen I'm not racist, I promise. I promise I'm not racist. But have y'all seen the crazy stuff that's going on with the carnival cruises and these carnival ships? I don't know how many of y'all have cruised before, or if you want to travel along the coastline and see a bunch of cities, go a bunch of places, check out cruise ships. Check out the idea of taking a cruise rather than if you want to go to Hawaii. If we go to Hawaii, when Mrs. Urban, when we take a trip to Hawaii, it's going to be a cruise. It is absolutely. I promise you, it's going to be a cruise because 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 eating out on the islands, on the Hawaiian islands, is awful. Absolutely nightmarishly awful expensive. Insanely expensive. Like a gallon of milk is like three 3.50 here, roughly, give or take 25 cents. A gallon of milk in Hawaii is probably right now. I'm just guessing, but it's got to be 3 times that at least. It's got to be somewhere between $9 and $10 for a gallon of milk on the island of the Hawaiian Islands. Um, yeah, it's just food is insanely stupid, painfully stupid in Hawaii. Eating out at restaurants is, normally for the southeast here, you go out to dinner at a chain restaurant, at Chili's or Applebee's or Buffalo Wild Wings or Longhorns or whatever. Uh, you're spending anywhere from 16 to $40 a person, depending on what you get, right? Whether or not you go towards the lower half of the menu price wise or towards the top of the menu price wise. Um, yeah, Hawaii, at least double that. At least double that, if not close to triple that. So instead of the wife and I going out to eat for less than $80, between 60 and $80, um, it's like $150 in Hawaii for the two of us to go out eat out for a dinner somewhere. So yeah, no. And then hotels, trying to find a nice hotel that's not $500+ a night, easily $500+ a night for a decent hotel, not a good one, but a decent one. $500 a night, easily, guaranteed. bottom dollar hotel. It's $500 a night for Hawaii. So yeah, like flying, and then flying. Then you gotta add flying, and then a rental car and all that shit. Forget about it. Forget about it. If I'm gonna go see Hawaii again, I'm doing a cruise. It's gonna be on a cruise ship. Free transportation. Well, not entirely free. You still have to fly out to California in order to take the ship from California so you do have to fly that, but at least you're not flying all the way to Hawaii. That's like another $200 to go from the coast of San Francisco to Hawaii is like 240 bucks right there, just that. So at least getting out to California is gonna be enough. But yeah, so yeah, not having to fly from one island to another, or take a big boat, a taxi boat from one island to another. You just have the cruise ship do that. Cruise ship, free room, your hotel is taken care of, and then 90% of your food is taken care of on the cruise ship. So yeah, like cruising Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands, is at least twice as cheap, if not 60% less in expense versus having to fly all the way to the island, get hotels, do all the transportation, do all the food. Um, yeah, cruising is way better way to go. But yeah, no, with Carnival cruise ships, because Carnival has for years and years and years become well known as the budget cruise line. Like anybody can go on a cruise if you cruise with Carnival, right? Like that's how Carnival has advertised themselves. Hey, Greg, what's up? How you doing? But because Carnival has gotten so inexpensive and running massive sales and great deals for cruising, and cruising is an awesome thing to do. Everybody should do it at least once in their life. I don't care if you don't like boats. I don't care if you get seasick. There are things for that. You should take a cruise once in your life, even if it's just a 3-day cruise. I don't care. Go on a cruise. Experience what a cruise is like. Everybody should do that. But yeah, so with Carnival being so cheap, a lot more black people are cruising for vacation because they're smart with that. It's a smart way to do some traveling and to do some relaxing vacationing. Um, I'm all for it, but if you overbook and you don't pay attention to how many people are staying in a room on a cruise ship, you pack out the you do maximum capacity for cruisers, for guests on a cruise ship, and the way that they congregate and the way that they hang out together and the things that they do in their culture, look it up. If you don't know what black fatigue is, then you must be living under a rock, because you should know what black fatigue is. It is newer slang thing that's being used as a term for uh, people who act like they're from the ghetto, whether they're not from the ghetto or not, and they're just just obnoxious and loud and draw an insane amount of attention to themselves. But I mean, when did we all of a sudden started having freaking massive fights, like huge gang fights? You know, more than a dozen people throwing fists, blood everywhere. People going to the hospital ward on the ship, and I think one time, not too long ago, somebody got helicoptered off of the boat to mainland in life-threatening conditions. I don't know if there's been a death or two, but there was fight that broke out when they were getting off of the ship in port back here in the United States. There were incidents where overseas in other ports that the boat was visiting where people got into some serious trouble and just so many problems. And Carnival went and was like, we got to change our rules because this has gotten way out of hand. Things are way too dangerous. We've got to do something to help combat this behavior and make it known that it is not acceptable to have that behavior because it endangers all the other passengers along with yourselves. So quit acting like this. So um, the unlimited drinks package are now limited so that way you can't get totally plastered, totally shit faced every single day, all day long. The cruise line does have the rights to say no, you're capped off for the rest of the day. No more alcoholic beverages for you. Um, so I like all these rules. I think there's like 7 or 8 rules, but they're no brainers. And it's just like I don't like when I read them. I was like, so yeah, like I don't understand. I don't understand. So if the next time I go on a cruise, it's probably not going to be with Carnival because I just don't want that atmosphere. I don't need the whole idea of a cruise ship is supposed to be the least stressful way of vacationing. So much is taken care of for you. Your room's taken care of. All your meals are taken care of. Your extracurricular activities are taken care of. You got the pool. You got sometimes water slides. Sometimes a little putt-putt course. Sometimes a batting cages. You got little miniature bowling alleys on some. You got all these things. You got casinos. I mean, you got all these things on so many of these ships. So much stuff to do, and so many amazing people you can meet and spike conversations with as long as you're not a severe introvert. You have to be some amount of an extrovert to enjoy cruising because that's part of the cruising life and the experiences getting to meet new people. um, yeah, and there's the romantic aspect of cruising too with a significant other. But yeah, I will not go on a Carnival ship if I can help it. Do not want to go sail with Carnival ever again. Um, yeah, Princess is a nice one. Princess, Alaska. Okay, so for Eagle Scout, when you went to Alaska, you guys went on the Inner Passage, like Juneau and Skagway and Saskatchewan and like the Inner Passage part, because that's where most of the cruise ships go when you go on an Alaskan cruise. Um, Sometimes you sail out of Seattle. Sometimes you sail out of Vancouver. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I want to say it was like 2001 when we did our Alaskan cruise. My parents and my brother and I, the 4 of us. Um, that's all I have is the one brother. Yeah, I grew up in a family of 4. Yeah. Half of the time, most of the, I would say about 70% of the cruise ships start in Seattle, and then there's a handful of them that occasionally start up in Vancouver, Canada, which is not very far from Seattle. Yeah. What time? Do you remember what time of the year you went? We went. We went literally. Got on the plane and flew out there to Seattle like 2 days after the school year ended at the very end of May. So we were like the very first week of June was when we went. That was the time of the year, and it was like The highs were in like the mid to upper 50s, maybe low 60s on a day or two. Um, and then the lows were like 30, between 35 and 45. So it was cold, but it wasn't freezing. And it wasn't super crowded. The ship wasn't, it was probably about maybe 75 to 85% capacity. Um, and then, oh, you just went last month. Was it a 7 day? Was it a 7 day cruise, or was it longer, or was it shorter? I think ours was a 7 day, and then we stayed in Seattle for like, uh, I think half. We stayed. We got there about um, a half a day. We had like half a day before we got on the ship from when we arrived and got off the plane. We had maybe about 5 hours before we were able to board the ship. So we did a little bit of stuff right there in Seattle, and then yeah, so it was probably a 7 day cruise. And then on the back end, we stayed, got a rental car, went to was it Mount Helen? That's right there, just outside of Seattle. Did a little bit of sightseeing and up there around Seattle for like a day and a half, and then flew back home. So yeah, that was a nice cruise. That was a fun experience. The only thing that sucked, the only thing that sucked was when it's 55 degrees outside, or a little bit less. When it's 45 degrees outside, and you're in a hot tub with a couple of chicks that you're having fun interacting with, and it's time to get out. That fucking sucks. That sucks. That part sucks. I was probably 15 or 16, I think. I think I was like 15 years old when we did the Alaskan cruise, 2001. Yeah, I want to say I was 15. Um, so yeah, so you're in the nice warm water of the hot tub, and then you get out and you reach for that towel as fast as possible, because it's a race between how quickly your junk shrivels up to how fast you can get yourself covered up with a towel. Right? It's a race. Which is going to happen first? Pray that nobody notices. So, oh, okay, newer ship, cool, cool. Um, you went last month. So what was your warmest days? It was cold as hell. We were hauling ass. Yeah. Uh, funny thing happened. My mom wanted to do. I forget. I don't remember whether it was a winery or it was. I want to say it was a winery. It was probably a winery and museum. I don't know why right now, or was I blacked out for a minute, for about 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. I don't know what's going on. But but my mom wanted to do one excursion, one little day trip in one of the towns that we visited. And my dad and my younger brother, well, my dad knew that my younger brother was not going to want to go do what my mom wanted to go do. So because he was being 6.5 years apart, he was about eight. Yeah, about 8 or 9 years old. I think eight. But yeah, so you were a little bit warmer than we were. Our warmest day was probably like 62, 63. But anyways, and our lows at night were in the lower 40s. And that cold, brisk air on the boat was, whew. But yeah, so my dad took my younger brother on a train ride that went through the mountains. They went on a train, an old locomotive, and went on a train ride through the mountains. Got to see bears, got to see moose and elk and all. Got to see a whole bunch of wildlife on an awesome train ride. Beautiful, gorgeous views of the mountains and the inner waterways there of the inner passage um, between Alaska and Canada. It was gorgeous, and I know this because they took quite a number of photos. I don't want them. I don't want them. Don't need them. Can't have the donuts. Thank you.
280.
I don't care. I cannot do it. I'm on a diet. Shoo.
280.
Go away, please. Close the door. Close the door. Goodbye. Thank you, Riley. Love you. He's trying to give me his donuts. Um, yeah. Alaska's just it's breathtaking views every day, all no matter where you're at. But so they did that and had a blast. My mom and I, she chose this excursion to some museum and winery place or whatever. Um, and on our way up there, we had to take a bus, one of those short tour buses, up through the mountains on the winding roads. And about 2/3 of the way up to the top, the bus broke down. Just the engine overheated, the transmission gave out, and we were stranded on the side of the road waiting for another tour bus, two actually tour buses to come get us. So they had two other tour buses that would go that route up to that place. And so half of the people on our bus went on one bus, and then the other half of us were able to get onto the other bus because there just wasn't enough room for double the people on a bus. But so yeah, so we never got to go to our destination. We literally drove 2/3 of the way there, sat on the side of the road for like an hour and 40 minutes to wait for another bus to come pick us up and bring us back into town. Yeah, yeah, I was pissed. I was really pissed. My mom wasn't happy either, but I was really pissed. And then my dad and my brother showed up, and like my brother was hysterical about how many photos he took and all the cool wildlife he got to see. And my dad was like, "Yeah, the train was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. And how was y'all's trip?" Don't want to talk about it. Nope, not talking about it. It was terrible. It really sucked. I'm not. God, Mom. Next time we stick together, everybody's taking the train. So yeah, that was bad. That was. But overall, that was like the only bad thing that happened on that entire trip, on that entire cruise. And seeing and doing some sightseeing around Seattle, Washington, was cool too. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll take a look and I'll try to dig up some of the photos that my dad had in 2001. Like digital cameras were just new, like and you were somebody special. Like when colored TVs came out, it was such a big deal. Like you were somebody important, somebody special if your family got a colored TV. Yeah, so like that's how it was with digital cameras when digital cameras first like went past the experimental stage of companies and certain individuals owning it. Now people could start regular people could start buying digital cameras. Yeah, that was the first family vacation I think that we had full blown digital cameras that we were taking photos with. I think my dad had two of them. And Intel was the company that made them, and I think he got them as a promotional thing through his job, through his work. Um, so that's how we had them. And we were probably one of the fewer people on the cruise ship that had digital cameras at that time. Yeah, it was just, it was so new. But yeah, Alaska was cool, a lot of fun, and cruising was definitely the way to go. But all right, so I'm gonna call it a night, guys, because I do want to get back out to the workshop and at least get this one finished up, get this one done, and then tomorrow I'll do the second one and then finish this guy. But oh, I did before I leave, before we go, I did order new knives besides the concept caveman, which uh, will be here within a handful of days. I also picked up. I saw these on Amazon as on a deal alert. They are um, much longer. They're more like a pin size, whereas this guy's a little bit stubbier. But it has the smaller bits. It has all the skinny bits, and they're inside this handle here, and that's all the bits that comes with it. So these things were like $6 or $7, like less than $7 a piece, S2 steel. So pretty decent. Should be pretty decent. 24-in-1 pocket screwdriver set, and it's got T6 and T8s on them. So I ordered two of them. So uh, again, because of money, because of budget, trying to save for stuff. And I've got my Wesser and a Bloom Harpoon, that Aries EDC. Scott, bless his heart, can't thank that dude enough for going out of his way to do my special builds. Um, love the man to death for agreeing to do that for me. He seems to, every time he posts a video and mentions it, and mentions the Western, he shows it and he's like, I normally don't do this. I know I don't like to do this, but this dude sent this and it's cool, so I'm gonna do it. And I couldn't be more grateful for him agreeing to make that a reality for me. He's such an awesome dude. But yeah, so this will, one of these will be in the next giveaway. So not tonight, obviously, but and then next Friday I will be gone. Wish me luck on good sales. So then the following Friday, so it'll be the second Friday of September, which is the 12th. We will aim for. I will do my darndest to put together this and two or three other things. Um, would y'all like me to turn um, something like this? Maybe one of these I'll make and add in the giveaway. One of these little change chalices. I could do that. Can do one of those along with screwdriver and then some kind of a knife. Uh, will be the goal as the next giveaway on the what did I say, the 12th. Yep, September 12th. That's the goal. Don't hold me to it, no promises, but that is the goal. All right, and I will see you guys later. Y'all have a great weekend. See you in the other lives and the other chats, and do anything too crazy or too stupid. Don't slice up a finger. All right, y'all take care. Thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate y'all stopping in and saying hey and providing some commentary. Love you. Peace.